To Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house and not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Miller, author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit. It is so wonderful seeing so many of you here early. Hello, welcome in, everyone. Super duper James, thank you so much for dropping in early, and DJ Ray, thank you so much for putting the links in the chat so everyone knows where to get my sports newsletter, my Substack, everything, and reminding everyone to give the stream a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, Brian and Spencer, David, hello Victor, let's go. Yeah, so many of you are here so early. Oh my gosh. Hello Thomas. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but this is really exciting. Having a good Sunday morning. First of all, I want to ask, are you watching this hockey game or what? This was one of the early pushes that I saw happening. It was like all of the money, all of the bets suddenly just piled into this one game, and yeah, that was my one early play today. It got started at 9:15, so it doesn't really help you now, but that Penguins money line, the Penguins puck line even, it was crazy. A huge move, backed by a lot of money too. It was like suddenly, all of a sudden, I'm tracking it, and it was like 95% of the bets, 99% of the money. Everybody's taking the Penguins. This line is pushing out like crazy. Some sports books were holding us at -120. Other already moving it up to -135. Line shopping everyone. That is why it's so important. All right, let's go. I'm so glad you are taking these plays, playing the Penguins. Yeah, that was a huge indicator first thing this morning. And for those of you who are using some of the methods that I've been teaching you in this book, Sports Betting Illuminated, on just how to track all the line movements, it's not, mysterious. I really do explain to you guys exactly how I do what I do. And I'm glad you guys are catching these plays. Let's go, Anthony. I love hearing that. It's nice starting the day off with a win. You're right, Tech Science. It was so lopsided. So it's nice starting our day off with a little bit of win, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of cannabis too. Don't think I forgot about that. You know how it is. I like to sit back, relax, get my mind right to win some wagers. What website can you use to track the line movements? Well, I would say pretty much anywhere where you could get the odds, like you could start tracking them manually yourself. Some great ways would be like just tracking like the opening line, tracking the look ahead line as well. And then monitoring throughout, a lot of times they'll put the lines out, sometimes a day, before. But other times it might be like a week before with football. So you might want to look for the look ahead line. You could find that you know, the Chris line, that's one of the overseas sports books. It's been established forever. And then I would say just keep tracking this line throughout the day. You know, track it periodically. You could even write, you know, a program to start keeping track of all this line movement and just have it like put it into a file, JSON format for you automatically. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places where you could track the line movement, but I would say looking at some of the old established Vegas sports books, you know, the ones that have been around forever, like MGM, Caesars, you know, these are some Superbook even, you know, a lot of these places have been around for decades, and, you know, they really do have their numbers very tight. So, you know, when you start seeing their lines starting to move and, you know, you just sort of see that progression happening, that's a great way to start. So yeah, I mean, it does take a lot of work, but there are ways to automate it. So yeah, all right. Well, all right, so sit back, relax, and get your minds right to win some wagers. Whoa. I'm turning a little like red there. That was my first cannabis hit of the morning. I was doing some yoga, I was doing some stretching, sitting in my sauna, my far infrared sauna. But I wasn't smoking any cannabis, so that hit me a little bit strong today. And I'm so sorry if my eyes are watering on air. There is so much pollen outside going on right now, even though all the windows are closed because it's getting a little bit cold. It's just one of those things of like, for whatever reason, my eyes are still watering. It is the thing. The Dolphins are not playing great today. Yeah, we are going to be diving into some NFL. I know that's one of the early games, so what's the current score out right now? I can look this up, or you guys could just tell me, write it into the chat. I have been following everything, but then I had to get on air, and I was running a little bit behind. 6-6 right now. Damn. Okay. Ooh. I actually see it's 12-6 right now. All right. Things are changing in front of our eyes. Oh, wow. All right. Well, this is interesting. That was one of those games that I just did not have a play in. I'm not gonna lie. I was tracking it, of course. You know, I mean, I did see this line start to move in the right direction for the Dolphins. It seemed like before I got on, the Dolphins were doing okay, but now, I guess anything could happen in the span of a few minutes, and yeah, I guess over the time I'm getting the stream on to seeing this. Yeah, 12-6 right now. So, Commanders are ahead. Alright, did you guys have any bets in this game? Because I didn't. But if you had bets, drop them in the chat. I want to know what you're taking. If you took any picks, any props, let me know what you're doing. I'm going to have another sip of coffee because it is still bacon time, roasting. I've been using my new Kazumi coffee maker. I love it. It's so fancy. It's like, I don't know, like a lab experiment going on every morning. Alrighty, so let's just go over my current ROIs. Everything is still pretty much the same, you know, like in basketball and NBA, we're sitting at a 51.1% ROI on a 78.6% win rate, but haven't played a ton of units there, only 28 so far. College basketball, 36.4% return on investment, but 34.6. Did I say 36.4? That's what I meant. 34.6. Sorry, everyone. Maybe the cannabis is getting to me on a 69.8% win rate, 43 units so far. But think about this. This has only been a week and a half of games. This is more units than we played I mean, we are up 25% from last year already. So, I mean, that's pretty good. So far, so good. Oh yes, you know it. I do the whole cappuccino thing. Just got some cocoa powder to start, putting getting the milk froth, doing a coffee thing, doing the milk frothing thing, and then getting the cocoa powder on top, maybe some cinnamon. I don't know. At this point, I can't even. There are no cute coffee shops around me. Like, it's just, I don't know, something about where I live. There's like literally, I don't know, a serious lack of coffee shops. I'm thinking about opening up my own because, I don't know, in Vegas, I would go to this place called Mrs. Coco's all the time. Every day they made all the fancy coffees with the whipped cream and they put the little like dried rose petals on it and you get 24 karat gold on it literally, or or you could get like a Bellini with cotton candy. Oh my god, my favorite. And chocolate high heels. It's just so cutesy. They just don't have anything like that around here. They just don't. All right. We're missing out. Come on, East Coast. What is going on? Get it together with your coffee shops. NFL, we're currently sitting at a 25.9% return on investment with a 60% win rate on 44 units played so far. NHL, 12.9% ROI, but we are raising this up already with today with a 57.6% win rate, 33 units, and college football. Dragging a little bit behind, but we haven't really been playing too much college football recently. So, of course, we're still in the positive, 11.5% ROI on a 56.7% win rate, 30 units so far. All right, now, the stream has been getting me so high this morning. Harlequin OG, yes. This is perfect for fighting the good fight. That's what this stream's about. Just tackling stress, whatever is going on. This is about staying clear-headed through the chaos. It's Sunday. We're all going back to, back to the office tomorrow, or whether you're working from home, it gets busy on a Monday. That's really when everyone really gets into next gear. So this Harlequin OG, just to keep your mind clear-headed, be relaxed, and just help motivate you, power you throughout the day. Oh, it is strong though. All right, so let's just talk about this early game. Predators versus Penguins. This was just one of those lines. I took it up -120. It moved out so fast, and like I said at the beginning of this show, it was 95% of the bets with 99% of the money. I mean, that was a huge, huge move. I mean, you rarely see that much money, all on one side. And then Vegas moving in accordance with all that money. All the Sharps were taking this play today. So that was just an early, easy lock. Get it out of the way. Start the day with a win. Let's get it going. Hey Superfo, how you doing? Welcome in. All right, so yeah, I mean, line shopping around, I did see it at -135, -130. Line shopping is so important, and you know what, I mean, with all the prediction markets being out there right now offering, I noticed they don't have like the widest selection of like college games, but when it does come to the pro games, they do typically have, a lot of the plays that you're looking to. Comparing the lines, like line shopping with, you could have it in the same like American odds format. Line shopping with the sports book versus the prediction market, it's very easy as well. It's kind of the same gig. But I noticed recently that, while initially, like especially before the hype, it was easier to get odds that were better than a sports book. recently they've just been looking like worse than a sports book. Like I could get a minus 107 or something, whereas it's a minus 120 on a prediction market. So you just have to be careful. Don't limit yourself to one platform, and take advantage of all the odds, you know, boosts and promos and every opening account promo that you can get out there, and use it to your advantage. Like, don't just go crazy with it, but use it to make selective bets that are going to turn out profitable for you. Can I look at the splits on the San Francisco game? Yeah, absolutely. That was actually one of my games that was a lean. So yeah, nothing else really in hockey that I see moving early. I think I saw Derek here earlier. If there's anything you like, I would love to know. Feel free to throw it in the chat. Was he here? Maybe I was just thinking about it. Oh no. I'm like looking back in the chat. Okay, so I was gonna wait till after 2 minute drill to dive into the NFL, but since you asked, let's just look at this game real quick. Okay, I did see some money on San Francisco right now. Plus, I thought this line was interesting because it moved out from minus 1.5 to minus 3.5. So that was pretty interesting seeing that. And this is kind of a hard lean right now for me on San Francisco. I'm not saying it's like super definite at this moment. But you know, I mean, the money is solid. It's a little more mixed right now than I would like to see. It is still pretty heavy on San Francisco, just looking at it. Not quite rising up to the level of significance at this moment. Looking at the total as well, very mixed. This cannabis is definitely getting to me this morning. But I do see, you know, I do see a lot of people taking the San Francisco money line. I wouldn't take it at minus 190 right now. I mean, that is crazy. First of all, that is way too much. I'm sorry. Minus 190, I hate that. Like, I don't like playing more than, I don't like even minus 140s really. I try to stay away from them. Yeah, it's a lean towards San Francisco. I see a lot of people on the San Francisco money line, but the problem is like the money's looking a little Joe. Let me check a few other books and really see if this is consistent or if this is, you know, really just a thing. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of seeing the same thing everywhere. Yeah, very mixed. Slight lean towards San Francisco, but I do like how the sportsbook moved this from minus 1.5 to minus 3.5. That's good, and it is backed by some money, but it's just not quite as significant yet. Oh, I was talking about the money line. The money line was that. Which I was like, that's crazy. But you know me, I don't play money lines like that. Really ever. Like, I don't do a lot of money lines. But yeah. I am seeing more money on the money line, but still just not something I would take. Very mixed though. I got a little loud for a second. Turning that down. Oh no, some terrible play calls. That's not good. Well, we'll see what happens here. Let's dive into some of these NBA games, because this is really where I've seen a few more things starting to develop. So one thing that I think could develop is this Clippers-Celtics game. I've been keeping my eye on this. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are Celtics fans. This line moved from minus 4.5 to minus 5.5. At this moment, it's not an action play. I just think, keep your eye on it. This is moving early. There is a bit of Celtics money coming in, so I think this could develop, but let's just see. That's kind of where it's sitting right now. Looking at this Kings-Spurs game, this is a 4:00 p.m. game, and I like this as an action play. I would say this is a very hard lean right now, and that's the Spurs spread. It opened up at -5.5, went out to -8.5 on some Spurs money. This is, I would say this is a hard lean, and you know, kind of putting it in the action pile. So I like that. Something to keep your eye on, maybe a little sprinkle. Let's see how this develops. The morning report will be going out like before this, so you will be able to keep your eye on that, track it too. If you sign up for the daily report, it goes out every day. It is free to join. Tell your friends, tell your family, because we are just finding all of the winners this season. That is arielcalista.com. Click the stay in touch button. Easy peasy. It's free. No ads. Unlike all these other, you know, newsletters, things out there, is probably one of the easiest to sign up for, to really join the community. It's easy to get a hold of me and just reply back to any one of the emails. You get the sports news, all of the line analysis on any game across the board that has been interesting, and I'm not gonna lie guys, we have been crushing it. If you've been playing all of these games that I'm highlighting, your ROI has gotta be so high right now. Alright, looking at this total, it opened up at 237.5, went up to 240.5 on mixed money. Just keep your eye on this. Not moving this into an action pile yet, just something to keep your eye on. Now let's look at this Nets-Wizards game. You like the action plays, don't you? I do have some emojis, emotes over on Rumble, like if you're in the Rumble chat, that have like action player. I think it just says like action player or something on it. It's cute. They were from like the old Smoke the Spread show, and yeah, just carried them over because I love them. Designed all these. I'm like on the laptop thinking of all these little designs for you guys. If there are things that you want to see, I can try to make it happen. In the emojis, whether it's like you want more pictures of me in the emoji box, or you want, you know, different ones, if you want things that, you know, we've all come up with here together, like bicycle face. I don't know, whatever you want, I can make them into emojis. Just let me know. Super easy to do that. Okay, so moving on to the next game that we are looking at tonight, and that is the Nets-Wizards game. I think this total could develop. We could have an overplay here, potentially. This opened up at 231.5, rose up to 233.5, so it's on the way. It's on mixed money right now. This is a sportsbook move, so keep your eye on this one. It could develop, but yeah, it has been a big hit. I don't know, this cannabis, it's crazy. Ooh, Jack's money line. You know what? I'm gonna take another look at that, but it just hasn't been the best slate in the NFL today. Like everybody is saying, I'm seeing all these reporters out there saying today is the best day, it's the best slate, this is the best day for football ever, best Sunday, and I'm just kind of looking there and I'm like, I don't really see anything that I'm crazy about. Heck yeah, super friends coming through with action player emojis. I love it, the super crew. Okay, so we will roll into the NFL. I'll look at that Jags money line, give it another look, but let's just wrap up with the NBA here. We'll roll into the 2-minute drill, and I will look at some of these Jags numbers, see what's going on. All right, let's look at this Magic Rockets game. This is at 7 o'clock as well. The total open here I don't know. This is a little weird. It's dropping even though the money is on the over. So it went from 229.5, dropped down to 226.5, even though there's level 4 money on the over. I don't think this is going to develop, but just weird. Looking at the Trailblazers versus Mavericks, this is a 7:30 p.m. game. This total opened up at 230.5, went up to 234.5. Dropped just a little bit to 233.5, even though there was level 2 money on the over. I think this might develop. I think this line might pop back up into an overplay. It is later. It is a 7:30 p.m. game. So let's just wait and see on this one. But I would say right now, just keep your eye on it. All right, looking at this Hawks Suns game. This is an 8:00 p.m. Eastern game, and I don't know, this total is weird. I think, you know, it's a lot of money is going over, level 4 money. So you guys know on my scale, level 5 is the highest, level 4 money is on over. Like, I would say like that Penguins move in hockey today, level 5 money all the way. But here is level 4 money on the over, yet this total is dropping. It went from 230.5 to 234.5 down to 233.5 against the level 2 over money. I don't know. Oh, my bad. I was looking at the wrong numbers. It went from 232.5 to 229.5 to 228.5 against the level 4 over money. I was reading the wrong numbers there for a second. Sorry, everyone. I have a lot of like data things in front of me here. So sometimes that might happen. This is like a one-woman show, so hope you're enjoying it so far. We are gonna roll into the 2-minute drill, and then after that, after the 2-minute drill, we are going to be talking about some football, of course. This 2-minute drill is going to be about horse racing. And I know I have a lot of horse racing fans here in the audience. We saw that on the recent poll that I did. So we will be talking a little bit about that, some of the problems that I've identified in the horse racing industry, but also solutions on how to fix them. You know, I think sometimes complaining about one thing is, you know, it's one thing, of course, you know, everyone's always going to find things to gripe about. But then offering solutions to fix that is so important, and a lot of these solutions are easy, they're fast to implement, you know, some of them are free. So let's get started, and I will see you after the 2-minute drill. Don't go anywhere, because we will be right back with the NFL. So this week, the horse racing industry found its villain, computer-assisted wagering, CAW players. They are getting blamed for everything wrong with the sport. Declining attendance, shrinking handle, the death of horse racing itself. But I'm here to tell you, they've got the wrong guy. Blaming CAW for horse racing dying out is just like blaming your thermometer for giving you a fever. CAW players are not exploiting horse racing. They're just the only ones who figured out how to survive in an ecosystem that's been shrinking for decades. Now, here's what I mean. The pari-mutuel betting system was always designed to reward superior information and better analysis. Always. That is not a bug, it's a feature of the system. And for a century that worked because information was scarce and analysis was hard. But now the tools are better. Instead of jotting calculations down on your napkin, CAW teams are just writing them in code. We are talking about moving from the old wooden calculators to Texas Instruments. Now let's talk about what's actually killing the sport, because the list is extensive. Horse racing charges a 20% takeout on most bets, compared to that blackjack, 2%. Sports betting, 5%. Roulette, 5%. You need to be 20% better than the market just to break even. And horse racing's last real innovation, the pick six rollover, 30 years ago. Sports betting has live micro betting, same game parlays, cash out options, and racing's big move this year, $1 hot dog. But it gets worse. Racing has no centralized governance, just 50 state commissions all doing their own thing. The average fan is in their 60s. There is no customer education, loyalty programs, nor mobile experience really worth using. The Kentucky Derby hired TikTok influencers and figure skating commentators to showcase this historic sport of kings. And don't even get me started about the integrity problems. Federal indictments, doping scandals, a Derby winner testing positive for banned substances. CAW didn't cause any of this, but they are a convenient scapegoat. Now here's where this gets really interesting. All of this is fixable. Every single problem that I just mentioned has a solution. Racing has genuine advantages, 150 years of history, real drama, sophisticated analytics that should appeal to modern audiences. This is perfect for fantasy formats and mobile betting, and it can be saved, but it requires something uncomfortable, change. But here's a roadmap, 6 easy steps. 1. Slash takeout rates to 10% or less. Compete on value, not extraction. 2. Invest in customer education. Make the sport accessible to people who did not grow up reading racing forums. 3. Innovate relentlessly. Fantasy racing, new bet types, mobile experiences that don't feel like they're from 2003. 4. Centralize the governance. Someone needs to actually be in charge. 5. Fix integrity issues with real consequences. Make cheating too expensive to consider. And 6. Market to younger generations. They exist, they have money, they like betting, and none of this is impossible. But it requires the leaders willing to look in a mirror and say, we created this mess, and now we're going to fix it. Stop blaming the coders and the programmers for being good at applying the data. Instead, start building a product that's actually worth betting on. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope some of it resonated with you. And, I think whether you are just getting into horse racing, whether you only participate, maybe turn it on for a few minutes in the background during a derby, whatever your situation is, maybe you're a longtime horse racing fan. I think, we could all agree, fixing some of these main issues like integrity or, the takeout rate or even just putting everything under one umbrella so it's consistent and uniform and kind of applied evenly across all the states. I think it makes sense. So I'm glad you guys really enjoyed that video. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of people who, are younger coming up through the scenes, maybe, I don't want to say Dave Portnoy is like younger, but you know what I'm saying? He's definitely not one of those people that have been, in horse racing for the past like 60 years. But, I would say, even though people like that are kind of coming up through the scenes right now, there's a lot of people who are going into horse racing. I was just watching this awful documentary. I don't even remember what it was called, but it had like some of the flashiest, the flashy horse racing people without having a lot of like the real big horse racing people that have been doing this forever. I think we just need to kind of give horse racing a new face, maybe include the younger generation in it, and bring in some of these digital tools, like have real mobile experiences. You could have fantasy horse racing. I remember back in the early days of crypto, that was kind of a thing that a lot of people were talking about. Unfortunately, like a lot of these people were just kind of, in it to make a quick buck and get out. But, I think the idea and the intent behind that is still alive. So, hopefully, these things could come to light one of these days. Maybe it would take someone big like Churchill Downs to really, make the first impact, which then suddenly all the other horse racing venues follow. but just a thought, something, to put out there. But I mean, a lot of people are intimidated to get into horse racing because, you look at the horse racing forms, they're impossible to read. I mean, the font print is like tiny, 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 and they just don't really give you education behind it. The best thing that you could probably read on there to actually even try to learn something is just some guy telling you his top picks. And come on, that's not, I mean, who is this guy? Why do you care about his picks? You know what I'm saying? Why should you care about his picks? So, I just think there needs to be some education, some inclusion of younger audiences, and a real digital footprint for horse racing, because the data is there if you let people play around with it, give them a real toolkit, kind of like what I'm talking about doing in sports betting. Not just the old technology that, kind of, no offense to Brisnet, they put out great technology, but I mean, it needs to get updated now. We have machine learning, deep learning. We're able to build these things with neural networks, create predictive models. We need to start offering some of that to people out there. So, yeah. What a real horse better bets. Yeah, well, it is true. A lot of people, I mean, the true bettors out there, they're betting some serious money, especially when it comes to horse racing. Hey, Never Married, thanks for following along. I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, a lot of people out there, when it comes to horse racing, their unit sizes are huge, but it's because a lot of these people, really do come from, families that have inherited wealth through generations. These horses are like the best of the best. I mean, when you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars just to breed a horse, spending that much money on a horse race is really, it's just kind of like a drop in the bucket to a lot of people. You got to start like thinking about it. For a lot of these people, like, it's zeros, and like when you start adding an extra zero and an extra zero and an extra zero, it becomes a little crazy. So now moving on to the NFL, let's talk about this a little bit. I don't really like this card today. Like I said, I just think a lot of people are saying this is going to be so great. This is such a great day for the NFL, but then they're going to go out there and get massacred. Maybe, hopefully not. I mean, I hope everyone wins and becomes profitable at the end of the day and, tears it up out there, catches all their parlays, whatever. I don't encourage betting on parlays. I don't. I never do. But, really? Pennsylvania is the state with the highest rate of adults who've never been married? That is so crazy. I had no idea. Well, I guess I'm out there contributing contributing to the census data. All right. Well. Yeah, no, that would... No, I think I don't know. I'm just doing my own thing out here. Because I just love Pennsylvania. It's so pretty. So cold today. I'm like freezing. All right. Okay, so of course, what's the first game that I like? You might be wondering. It is just something I'm keeping my eye on. Oh yeah. Let me just rewind a little bit. I saw a comment about what is the Jags money line looking like right now. And let me tell you, I took a look at it during the 2-minute drill. And it is kind of dead. Like, this line is not moving really at all. The money not really rising to a level of significance at this moment. So it is just kind of dead. I'm not really seeing too much going on. If I am seeing a little bit of sharp money, but this is no way like a lot of sharp money. It's just a little bit. It is on the Jags money line. But, at this moment, I don't really have too much of an opinion here. I'm just staying away from this one, mostly just because Vegas line movement has been completely dead, even though I am seeing a little bit of sharp money showing up on the Jags. I definitely did go a little high, but you know what? We are waking and baking here. I feel like a storm's coming. It just only got like really dark and windy. Brr. Winter is coming. Yes, I am rewatching Game of Thrones right now. Just started my rewatch. I would love for you guys to give my video a like, thumbs up. I know, I don't really know how these algorithms work, but I am a small creator, so every like, every reshare, everything, it really does matter and count. And we're just growing this little community of ours and making it better every single day. Ooh, that's some cannabis. Hello, Tony. Welcome in. Ah, it is getting chilly out there. Brr. Alrighty. I definitely agree. Alright, so I got a little high. I'm going to start at the beginning again in this NFL slate now that we talked about the Jags game. The Bucks versus Bills. Let's talk about this. 1 o'clock. Let's go. This total opened up at 50.5, dropped pretty fast to 47.5, dropped again to 46.5. And this is on mixed money. Now I'm seeing a little bit of over money. The money is looking a little pro-ish. I'm just staying away from this one. Right now it is, yeah, I don't know, staying away from it at the moment. It is a little confusing. The money is on the over. The line is clearly not moving that direction. Moving on to this Bears-Vikings game. By the way, this is a live show. Anyone who would like me to break down any games live on air, feel free to just let me know. I'm happy to do that for you. Break down any of these games. It's easy to do. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to get everyone involved. Okay, looking at this Bears-Vikings game. Yeah, this total is bouncing around a little bit. Opened up at 45.5, went up to 48.5. There was level 1 pro money. It was looking very pro, but then the money kind of died out a little bit, started looking a little mixed, and the line dropped back to 47.5. I think this has kind of found its equilibrium point. I don't really think there's too much going on here. Oh no, you believe our Cowboys will lose? You like the Minnesota spread. Okay, let me give you my thoughts on this. Okay, just starting on the game that we're currently on, Minnesota right now. You know, just looking at this. So I do see it sitting at -2.5 in a lot of spots. And just kind of sitting there. Yeah, this really hasn't moved a lot. It's not really moved at all, actually. I would like to see a little bit of movement here. The money is very mixed. Yeah, not a lot going on there. So I just don't have an opinion. Just not a lot going on the money side or the spread. The Sharps aren't on the Raiders a little. Okay, let's cover the Cowboys game next, so I don't miss that comment. Let's see what's happening with this line movement. So I do see the Cowboys opened up at -3, -115, sitting at -3.5, -102, just sitting kind of where I would expect it to be. I don't know, not seeing a ton I like here. But yeah, I see what you mean. There is a little bit of sharp money starting to show up on the Raiders, which is interesting because the line almost seems to be moving in the opposite direction. I don't know. I don't have an opinion there right now, so I would just kind of keep my eye on this. Oh, Christmas shopping? I'm going to be starting soon. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of like Christmas goodies for people. I just want to show you guys like a beautiful custom necklace that I made. It is so sparkly. I love it. I'm like, people are going to be ordering from Soul Ray their custom necklaces for your friends, family, real soon for Christmas. This one just is so beautiful. It's, you know, has all of these beads like graduated and it's sparkly AB. So one of my more recent designs, this was a custom piece, designed this one as well. So can't wait for people to do their Christmas shopping soon. It was actually all styled after this one piece that I actually inherited from my grandmother, which is like the Swarovski necklace. So yeah, I don't know, it's nice kind of carrying those family memories and then, you know, also creating something new that other people could share and indulge in. And yeah. So I'm excited to do some Christmas shopping. I don't know. I like shopping for other people and, you know, thinking about what kind of things they would like, you know, finding some meaningful things versus just, I don't know, a lot of people want to do like the flashy thing and I'm like, I don't know. A Christmas gift that's like meaningful is definitely more my vibe. Like something that's like maybe an inside joke or something, or, you know, I don't know, something that people might use but they wouldn't necessarily buy for themselves. I like that too. Oh, no, everybody's saying the Cowboys will lose. Do the Chiefs bounce back? Let's take a look at this game. I've had my eye on this. You know, I've been watching this Chiefs spread. It went up at -1.5, went from -1.5 all the way out, pushed in the right direction to -3.5, and this was on a bit of Kansas City pro money. Right now, it pushed out even further to -4.5. The money is looking very mixed. Keep your eye on this because this was a big sportsbook move. I saw the pros in early. Maybe they pushed out a little too far and the pros got a little scared. Like they just didn't want to take the -4.5, but they would take the -3.5. Let me know what you think on that one. But I would just watch it for now. Keep your eye on it, but it is interesting how it's a big move. Hey Chris, welcome in. I should be wearing it. Well, these are going to be going out in an order, so I'm not going to wear them, but I will design probably another one that looks just like it. Actually, after I designed it, I was like, I like this so much, I have to do one for myself. I got inspired. Oh no. It'll be a 13 pie. Absolutely. That is my Soul Ray jewelry line, far infrared jewelry. Yes. So it has all the healing powers of like far infrared. A lot of you guys hear about far infrared saunas, infrared spas. You see them like everywhere. So many benefits from like microcirculation to detoxification. You know, really like activating the ATP in your cells to, you know, giving you more energy from like the mitochondria on up. And it really is cool. So I like being part of like the whole far infrared world and then making beautiful designs out of it because I don't know, healing jewelry or healing technology, it always looks so medical sometimes, and it's like doesn't have to look ugly, you know? Like, we can have some pretty things that actually work, and yeah. All right. So I know I missed a few games. Let's just circle back to them. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how time is flying here. We need to cover a lot more because some of these games are starting soon, like especially, you know what, let me just skip to this game that's starting soon. I was going to keep going with the NFL, but it's already 11:53, and I wanted to tell you about this college basketball game that I really like. Looking at this total, this is kind of a lean right now, but I like it. It opened up at 151.5. This Wright State versus Kent State game opened up at 151.5, went out to 156.5 with some over money. So a huge sportsbook move to the over, and there's a bit of money backing it. So I would say if you're an action player, this is happening in literally 7 minutes. So yeah, sorry this was like a last minute play, but we were getting busy. We were analyzing all these games in the NFL. I just had to skip over and tell you about this one real quick. Let me tell you about another one that's happening at 12 o'clock also in just a few minutes from now. I was looking at Wagner versus UMBC. This total did seem to be dropping a bit, just from 146.5 to 140.5, but it's on mixed money, so not really seeing anything there. But if you are an action player and you do like this lean on Wright versus Kent State, this over is looking pretty good, so keep your eye on that. I know this game is happening in like 6 minutes, so I didn't really give you a lot of like time there to look at that. Okay, but now that we got that out of the way, I didn't want to just miss it and just keep going on with today's show, because that was a good game. All right, let's talk about this Bengals-Steelers game. I haven't even talked about this one. This is happening at 1 o'clock, and I think the Steelers spread is looking pretty decent. It opened up at plus 1.5, went to minus 5.5 on some mixed pro money. So I think, you know, even though this isn't super pro money, it is still looking pretty pro. And I like that. It is a decent move. And I would say nice little action play on the Steelers spread here. All right, Thomas, you agree. Let's go. Hey, Tyler, nice seeing you. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad you can make it today. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this Texans-Titans game. This is a 1 o'clock game, so let's talk about the under first, because you brought this up. 43.5 is exactly where it opened up. Then it went to 39.5, but there was some over money initially. It dropped even further to 37.5, some more mixed money, but now the under pros were starting to show up, but then it became a little more mixed again, so it's just sort of sitting there right now. I don't have a play yet, but if I did, I would say the under is looking solid. That's a good sportsbook move, and I did like to see a bit of that pro money show up initially. I do think there's a lot of, there's a lot of interesting movements in the NFL today, but I don't know. I just don't think it's as great of a slate as like everyone's making it out to be. There aren't a lot of things that I would, play at this moment. As you guys have noticed, most of the things I'm talking about are just line movements that I'm either observing or they're action plays, which are just kind of leans, things you maybe sprinkle a little bit on, but you know what I'm saying. I just don't want to see anyone get massacred today, because I think it might be one of those days if you overplay and, it does look a little too easy. Yeah. just be careful. Pro with superpowers. Yes, Spencer, go Steelers. Yeah, I think, well, maybe today's the day. Also watching this Houston spread, it is so weird. It moved out from -3 all the way out to -7.5. And this was against some sharps on the Titans. And then it moved all the way back to -5.5, and the money is just so mixed right now. It's been all over the place. I've seen us push all the way out and just slide, like backslide all the way back, and the money is mixed. I'm staying away from the spread. I would say if anything, you know, the total's looking good. I wouldn't take the over. I would not take the over in this game, but at this point, I just don't really have a play that I'm in love with here. But yeah, talk about some backsliding on this spread. Definitely a lot of backsliding on this Houston spread. Yeah, I mean, it could be a good day for the Titans. I'm just staying away though. Okay, and I did talk about the 49ers, Cardinals earlier. You guys already know what I think about that. Looking at this Ravens-Browns total, opened up at 44.5, and it did drop. I saw it drop from 44.5 down to 41, 39, you know, 38, sitting at 38.5 with some over money. So it's just sitting there. Not something I'm in love with yet. Just looks like maybe a sportsbook correction. Oh no. Paid fans. Uh-oh. That's not good. Alright. Now let's look at finally the Lions versus Eagles tonight. This is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern game. This total opened at 49.5, dropped down to 46.5 on mixed money. There was some over money coming in. I don't have an opinion here right now, but just letting you know, I did observe this sportsbook line drop early. You've been on the overtime just to keep up your D-Gen image. Okay. I like it, Super James. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so moving on from the NFL, let's talk about some college basketball. Yes, I know we are jumping around all over the place. Let's just talk about some other plays that I like today. Just something to keep your eye on. I don't have a play yet, but this over maybe in the Notre Dame Ohio State game, it opened up at 152.5, jumped up to 155.5. The money is very mixed though, so I don't have a play here yet. I'm not even moving it into the action pile, just something to watch out for. But what I do like, let's look at this Virginia Tech versus Charlotte game. This is a 2:00 p.m. Eastern game, and Virginia Tech opened up at -15.5, went to -18.5 on some mixed money, but the money was very pro. Like, there were quite a few sharps in the mix here. This is a strong lean for me at this moment. I think this might be a great day for Virginia Tech, and you know what? I mean, we've been doing pretty well in college basketball lately. So, yeah, I think this might be a nice little play. Keep your eye on this. And another thing to keep your eye on is you got a what? Super James? Oh my gosh. Those are some big plus money odds. I remember when Super James just was playing that contest, hit like, what, 4,500 points at the beginning of it, and we're all struggling to get like 100 points under our belts. It was like in the first 3 days of the month when the contest opened up. I was like, damn, that's insane. Falcons is a revenge game. Packers -7. Okay. All right, let me just wrap up the one other game in college basketball that I like, and then we'll move right back to football, talking about all of that. So I'm also looking at those Wake Forest spread. This is at 2 o'clock. actually almost considered going to Wake Forest for college. It opened up at -28.5, went up to -30.5. It was level 2 pro money. The money was looking really sharp here. Lots of pros in on this Wake Forest spread. So yeah, that's interesting. This is a strong lean right now at this moment. So keep your eye on this because yeah, it's a strong lean. I like it. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the Packers. You know, I haven't seen a lot of movement yet, but maybe some things have changed. Right now it is sitting at -7.5 in most spots. There's only one spot where I saw it sitting at -7. It's just kind of been sitting there since the open. I don't know, not a ton of movement. Not a ton of movement so far. I'm just looking at the money. I mean, the money is pretty steady on Green Bay, but not a lot of movement on the line, which is weird. So it does look like the money's pretty mixed. Not a lot of movement on the line. Yeah, nothing nothing that's really saying Vegas is taking a position here. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Okay. Alright, lots of opinions tonight on the games. I like it. Just keep throwing it out there. I love hearing what you guys are playing. Okay, the Seahawks game. Let's just really take a look at this. You know, I wasn't really tracking this too much earlier. Just haven't really seen too much going on here. But let's see if we could find something. See what's going on here. Man, this total is frozen as well. It's just sitting there. It really is. And it looks like the money is kind of sitting there. It's, yeah, I don't know. Not too much is going on here. The money is very mixed. I would say a little bit of sharp money is coming in on the over, but the line is pretty frozen at the sportsbook. I'm not really seeing a ton going on. Yeah, this is one of those days where it's like everyone says this is a great slate, but I don't know. Not my favorite slate, that's for sure. So let me just give you all of my bets for today. That is everything that I'm looking at, really. And if there are any other games that you'd like me to break down and analyze, just feel free to throw them in the chat. I know we have a huge slate today. You guys already know I locked in the Penguins early. That was a 9 o'clock game this morning. But you know, the rest of it today, it's more leans than actual plays. So keep that in the back of your mind, because there's just nothing that I'm like super in love with. So the Spurs spread, you know, this is a hard lean, but something I like. You know, there's some money behind it, but this is still a hard lean. The Steelers spread, same thing here. It's a lean, but it looks like it's pretty decent at this moment. It's a big move. I mean, they were originally underdogs, now they're 5.5 favorites. It's good. You know, San Francisco spread, I also think this is a decent lean. This was a bit of a move with a little bit of money. College basketball, 2 more leans for you guys. The over in this Kent State Wright State game that just started 7 minutes ago. And coming up is the Virginia Tech spread. I think that's moving out. It's backed by a lot of pro money. And also this Wake Forest spread. It's looking solid as well. What is my play of the day? Is that X-Files music playing? No, this is all like public domain music because of like YouTube's copyright issues. So everything is just kind of like public domain things that I've been able to like find and acquire on my own without having to put in like a bunch of like copyright things. So is it X-Files music? I don't know. It could be. Oh, brand new podcast, Imaginary Football League. Well, you know what? Why not? Does sound like my cannabis is playing a flute. Yeah, Victor, I've been thinking about your question. What is my play of the day? And this is tough. I don't really think I have one. I mean, at this moment, like I said, everything is more of a lean than a solid play. Nothing is highlighted in red. And for you guys who signed up for my free daily emails, you know what that means. The red plays are like the play now plays. The blue plays are more for the action players out there. If you haven't signed up for these free daily emails where I do break down all of these games and I give you my analysis, sports news, health corners, coaching corners, the picks of the day, pictures of me every day, it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun. It is free. I would love if you all told your friends and family. You don't get spam, ads, BS, all of that. It is just me. I put it out every day. Sign up, arielcalista.com. Click the stay in touch button. And it's just a lot of fun. I hope you guys tell people about it. Don't let your friends be in the dark this football season. If you're the only one in your friend group finding the winners, come on. We're all trying to win around here. My entire strategy is based off of game theory and creating, a win-win scenario for everybody. And that's exactly what I'm doing. The sports books, they're trying to win, So what I'm doing is playing with the house and teaching everyone a strategy for free every single day. So sign up. I'd love if you joined. And yeah, that's kind of the show. We will be live again. Oh my gosh, it is gonna be Thanksgiving soon, so we will be taking the week off there. I already announced that, but just reminding everyone. I want to show you real quick my beautiful cannabis plant. Now that the show's over, thanks so much for joining. But I just thought maybe you'd like to see this. Yes, I do know it's on a hanger right now, but you guys saw me growing the cannabis all season. What do you think? This is like a lot. But it's been growing, getting bigger, and yeah, it's like literally bigger than me at this point. So yeah, just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of some of the cannabis I'm growing. I have more plants going on right now. It's so fun to just like grow your own, growing at home. I think I messed it up a little bit. I'll fix that later. But just wanted to give you a sneak peek, and I have so many seeds that I've been collecting. I mean, even today on the floor, like I just found a whole handful of seeds because they're falling, they're dropping everywhere. Like this is such a racket, the cannabis seed industry. I really want to get them out to you guys, really for not that much money, just like cheap, easy on my website. So they will be on my website pretty soon, arielcalista.com. And thanks so much everyone for joining. That is crazy. Yeah, last year 12-foot cannabis plant, it was literally crawling. It was above my second floor window. Like that's how tall it was. I mean, it just got a little crazy. So, yeah, these have been it's been interesting growing, and yeah, now it's the end of the season, but I'm still growing some plants indoors. It's been a lot of fun. Kind of feel like I have a green thumb now. The plant that ate Philly. All right, well, this was such a fun show. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. This was a blast. Good luck on all of your wagers today. Just remember, just because everyone's saying this is like the best slate there ever was, like, just be cautious. I really do think, today is going to be a lot trickier than what it seems. So, keep that in the back of your mind. There's been a lot of stuff, but it doesn't mean all of it's moving. So you gotta carefully watch the line movement, watch for sharp money, and just remember, kind of limit your scope. Don't play 10 bets, 12 bets, 20 bets, whatever it is. Kind of really limit your scope and find the few plays that you really like, that you've studied, that you've analyzed, and that you could give like the proper time, attention, and focus into. Well, hey Red Pill, I didn't even see you here earlier. Welcome in. Thank you so much everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate all of you giving the stream a thumbs up, following along, and for joining my daily emails. The cannabis definitely got to me today. Joining my daily emails, and just staying in touch with me. It's so easy to reply to any one of these emails, anything that you want me to analyze, any questions that you have. You just hit the reply button, you're writing back to me directly. It's very easy. So thanks everyone for following along, and I will see you all next time. Have a fun Thanksgiving.